The question is that grievances be noted. I call the member for Durack.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I'm very pleased to rise today to outline some of what I want to achieve for my electorate of Durack during this term, and also what I've achieved since I was elected as the member for Durack some 3 years ago, well, not quite actually. The prime reason why I decided to run again as the Liberal for Durack Deputy Speaker was because I wanted to build on my good start. Deputy Speaker, as people in this chamber may recall, I initially ran for the seat of Durack because I wanted to improve people's quality of life throughout the electorate. Durack, which is the second largest electorate in the world and largest electorate in this country, Deputy Speaker, spans over 1.6 million square kilometres and includes over 300 towns and communities from the Kimberley, Pilbara, Gascoyne, Midwest, and contains a very large chunk of the wheat belt as well, which I may say they're having a sterling year this year. Thank the Lord. Durack is home to some of the most rural and remote towns, not just in Australia but around the world. With remoteness, Deputy Speaker, comes isolation and many social issues that are attached to that isolation. The World Health Organisation believes by 2020 depression may be the second leading cause of death, which is incredibly alarming for someone who represents such a large, regionally focused but incredibly isolated electorate. The Turnbull government, as we know, is renowned for being proactive on a number of important economic issues, and we've heard that more recently regarding innovation, science and technology. But what I'm particularly focused on today is that we're also focusing on other more important social issues such as mental health. In the lead up to the federal election in July, I campaigned on setting up a headspace in the Pilbara. Headspace, Deputy Speaker, I don't need to tell you, is an incredibly important organisation, an incredibly valuable organisation which assists young people between the ages of 12 and 25 with their mental health, their physical health, work and study, and also provides drug services in addition to more work-related services. In my electorate, the two Headspace centres, one in Broome and also one in Geraldton, are both making a big impact on those towns, but also on the region more generally. In the weeks leading up to the recent campaign, I travelled the Pilbara in cities and towns like Karratha and Port Hedland and Newman and also Dampier, and over 200 people signed my petition to the government to open a headspace in the vast and isolated region of the Pilbara. The support I received during this mini-campaign was overwhelming from mothers and fathers and brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, grandparents, friends and also colleagues who are all in complete support of my aim to open a headspace type facility in the Pilbara. They all knew young people that had been impacted by mental health issues and all wanted to lend their support, and for that I'm eternally grateful. Deputy Speaker, when I met with people seeking support to open a headspace type of centre in the region, it reminded me that this is exactly why I decided to run to be a Member of Parliament. And that, Deputy Speaker, is to improve the quality of people's lives so that they may have an opportunity to be the best that they can be. And I'm very proud of this government for allowing those types of funds available to improve the quality of mental health services throughout regional Australia. I'm very pleased to say that the youth organisation YIC, which stands for Youth Involvement Council, which is based in Port Hedland, has some space in its beautiful new building, and I had the pleasure of going there a couple of months ago for the opening of that, and they have expressed some interest in accommodating headspace, and for that I'm very grateful as well. This would be terrific if we could just pull that off together, and I'm certainly working on that. I'm very pleased to advise the House that I am one step closer to getting such a headspace centre opened in the Pilbara, as I'm due to meet with the Primary Health Network, who is ultimately going to be the funder of such a service. Deputy Speaker, I don't want to understate this, that opening a headspace in the Pilbara region will have a profound impact on the young people's lives in the region and also impact on their families' lives as well, with the potential to improve the culture that exists in the region. Deputy Speaker, there were several election promises I made during the election campaign, which I will work hard to ensure are delivered across Durack. Local drug and alcohol rehabilitation services will be boosted in Durack, as I announced in May. that my electorate would share in some $20 million for improved drug rehabilitation services. This is part of this government's plan to combat the ice scourge across Australia, which, Deputy Speaker, as you know, is part of the government's National Ice Action Strategy we announced in December. The Turnbull government's commitment to regional, rural and remote Australia is unrivalled in Australia's history. Only members on this side of the chamber understand the importance of regional, rural and remote Australia, and only members on this side of the chamber respect and deliver for regional, rural and remote Australia. Now, I'd like to give a couple of good examples of that. Earlier this month, I confirmed the 11 heavy haulage safety upgrades which I had discussed during the course of the campaign. It's a long list, so if you could just bear with me, but it illustrates our commitment to improving the quality of roads in regional Australia. The construction of a truck bay north of Northampton on the North West Coastal Highway, the construction of a truck bay area south of Geraldton, 2 designated truck rest areas with sealed surface and litter bins suitable for all weather conditions on the Midlands Road, 2 designated truck rest areas with a sealed surface and bins on the Northern Pathara Road, widening the Balladoo-Pathara carriageway to 8 metre seal on 10 metre formation to meet RAV7 standards, the construction of a new road train assembly area adjacent to the town of Port Hedland zone area, the construction of 6 truck bays on the Great Northern Highway between Woburn and Camarina, and providing a truck rest area at the Wongan Hills Kalingari Road, construction of a sealed 250 metre heavy haulage bay with shelter to accommodate 3 or 4 triple road trains on the Goldfields Highway between Leinster and Wiluna. I know they'll be very happy to hear about that. Installation of ablution facilities and formalising a rest area on Nameless Valley Drive. Just in case you were wondering, Deputy Speaker, yes, that is a real name of a road. The upgrade of Harbour Road, including the reconstruction of subgrade and a pavement overlay linking North West Highway to Carnarvon. A very long list, but all very important, and I can tell you that this infrastructure, of course, supports the local communities, supports the small businesses, in many cases supporting the farmers as well, and of course tourists alike. We heard from the previous speaker about the importance of a community pool, Deputy Speaker, and I too have my own community pool story. And community pools, as we know, are important amenities for those of us in country Australia. And the government recognises that. Hear, hear, I say.
I do so.
That is why we are investing over $249,000 in the Halls Creek Aquatic and Recreation Centre. This investment will lead to the installation of a solar power system, which will lead to significant savings. Deputy Speaker, you'll probably know there's a lot of sunshine in Halls Creek. This is estimated to be over $30,000 a year, which will allow the centre to invest the savings to provide free entry for children to the school, which I think is a fabulous initiative, and to extend the centre's opening hours. This is terrific news, Deputy Speaker, for people in Halls Creek and also the surrounding towns. Additionally, I've secured $3 million towards the Geraldton Cathedral Precinct project, which is one of the top 100 cathedrals in the world and will ensure the completion of the project. The Geraldton Cathedral is one of the great attractions in the Midwest in my electorate of Durack, and I want to acknowledge Bishop Justin Bianchini for his dedication to this project, who, by the way, Deputy Speaker, was my local parish priest when I was a child growing up in Kalgoorlie, which is by the by, just a little side story. He remembers me not so fondly, apparently. There's a whole raft of achievements over the last 3 years. A few that I would just like to mention now. The Karratha Arts and Community Precinct, which is going to go ahead with a $10 million grant from the federal government, which I'm particularly proud of, because that community, I can tell you, Deputy Speaker, there's no way a small girl could even do a ballet concert. So this is actually going to provide just ordinary, regular type of infrastructure that most other people just take for granted. So I'm very proud of that. In that precinct, they will have state-of-the-art library, multifunctional theatre, modern outdoor amphitheatre and a war memorial with great facilities. Deputy Speaker, I'm very honoured to have been re-elected as the member for Durack. I am 100% dedicated to this electorate. I'm determined to make it the best regional electorate to live, work and play. As the local member, I offer a personal approach together with a proven track record to serve and deliver for our electorate of Durack, and long may I continue to do so.
Look, I thank the member for Durack and appreciate her passion for her community.